Welcome to Boys and Brunch. This is the show where we expose everything going down on the timeline. And we have some interesting changes to make this time. Instead of four topics, we're going to be talking about one and then kind of move into a question that you may have been asking as far as maybe connecting with people, whether it's through friendships or relationships. This is just something a little bit new that I'm kind of trying out. We're going to see how it goes, but I think we're going to have a fun conversation. We're going to talk about Fleetnik today, and then we're going to move into the topic about getting attention on social media and as it relates to maybe getting that online crush to DM you or whether or not you should DM him and that kind of thing. So we're going to move into that. It's going to be a good conversation. I am here with co-host Marcus Haynes, of course, and I am also joined by a couple of the Bourgeois who are, this is a beautiful moment. Mama Shay, I think for the first time is giving us her presence, gracing us with her presence on the main show. And we've also got Darian here, also known as Focus. So you've seen their little captions in the chat below. And so this is going to be a fun show. Welcome. So all right. So why don't we start with Marcus? I do want to ask, what have you been up to? What are you drinking? What's going on?
So my main thing right now is just kind of last minute things. I'm getting ready because school starts tomorrow. So I'm, just kind of getting that stuff together. I've been working on a couple of other side projects too, so kind of putting the finishing touches on those before I get, head first into the semester. As far as drinking, well, I've been drinking all weekend. And just to kind of get my last bit of fun out. So to kind of get myself ready for tomorrow, I have what is known as a virgin mimosa, aka orange juice.
Okay. So wait, a virgin mimosa.
So
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
I'm just kind of getting myself. I've done all my drinking for the weekend. Now it's time to get focused to get back to work.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Let's ask Mama Shay. Let's ask the lady of the group. What's been going on with you? Anything new going on or coming up or getting chopped off? I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
I would like to know what's happening and what you're drinking today.
Well, as you alluded to, this is my last weekend with locks. In 6 days, they will be gone, and I'll be going blonde, and they'll just be gone. So, kind of getting ready for that mentally. I'm excited, but I also don't know what I'm going to do without an extra 5 to 10 pounds of hair attached to me. And for my drink, it is orange juice, lemonade, ginger ale with a little more than a splash of amaretto.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds tasty. See, now I need to come to you if I need a new recipe or something. I need to come to you. Because, and I don't think I will have all the ingredients, so I need to physically come to you. So Darian, tell us what's new with you, what's going on in your world, and yeah, what are you drinking today?
Well, I can only describe it one way, and that is work and lots of it. So I'm thankful to be gratefully employed. But yeah, it's a bit much. Of course, I do mainly some video editing on the corporate level. And so a lot of those projects decided to come through this week, and that's kept me busy. As a matter of fact, probably when I get done here, that's what I'm going to turn my attention to these screens that are behind me, to some video. Yay.
Okay.
My drink of choice today is coffee because I am tired. I'm trying to stay awake.
Thanks.
Oh, you needed some tequila.
Oof.
If I took, no.
You
Tequila
don't
would
wait
have me on the
tequila.
apps. Tequila would have me on the apps, and I don't need that smoke today.
That's hilarious. Because me and Mama Shay say all the time, tequila is like an aphrodisiac.
It might
And
as well be.
I've read before, when you liquor doesn't do anything in particular. It's just what you think it does for you. But I feel like, I mean, just hearing what you said, it's like that's actually kind of what it does.
Oh yeah, yeah. Tequila had me inviting people I don't need to have sitting on my face. So,
Oh,
no,
okay. We
will
get
not
I
be
started
love,
early
I
today.
love.
I am right
Well,
there with Focus because definitely I will not have tequila unless I have like a signed agreement that something is going to be waiting for me.
right. We're gonna
I
have
hear
to have some
that.
NDAs.
My goodness. So yeah, for me, I think I don't know. I don't know if I have a real update. I was supposed to be prepared with this, but yeah, just working on this. I mean, we're kind of switching it over. I've talked with Marcus and Brandon in the past couple of days about kind of switching the content a little bit, just tweaking it a little bit, just to see what we could do. I mean, we've been doing this for about a year now. And I think it's time to freshen it up and try something different. And I would love to hear the audience's, perspective on this after the show. Let me know what you thought, whether it was better, worse, and what else we could do. Aside from that, I'm drinking Malbec, but this is actually like a cute little baby glass or baby bottle of it. So yeah, I got a couple glasses worth in that, and yeah, it'll be fun. And I mean, judging from this topic, we are going to need all the drinks. So I want to say hello to Ty McKinney. I see he's in the chat, and Lauren Williams is in the chat as well. Thank you for joining us, guys. Please, tag us, retweet, let everybody know who's in. And if you're in the chat and I haven't called you out, please holla at us, because I will definitely put your chats up on the screen and we can have a great conversation. But let's jump into this Fleetnik conversation. This is something that I did not see coming, to be quite honest. I did not see it coming. What are your thoughts? I just want to start with like general thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts on Fleetnik? And Marcus, as the veteran co-host here, maybe you can kind of get us started. What were you thinking when that all went down?
So I really didn't pay much attention because I hardly ever paid the fleets any attention in general, at first at least. But then I was just scrolling through the Twitters and I was like, oh my God, y'all fleets. Oh my God, y'all fleets. Oh my God, y'all fleets. I was like, what is y'all talking about? And so I just scrolled up to the top and I clicked on the first little circle I saw and I kept clicking and kept clicking and kept clicking.
Look, and I'm sure you did. So let me just say, for anybody who does not know what Fleetnik is, basically the Twitter had their own version of stories called fleets. So basically you would post a picture, like Instagram stories or Snapchat or something, you post your little thing up there and it would disappear after 24 hours. Now they had decided to, sunset that feature in Twitter, I want to say a few days ago. But on that last day, people were posting all their nudes and all their goodies up on the fleets. And I don't know who dubbed it, but it was like the perfect name. They dubbed it Fleetnik. I mean, we know who among us, named it Fleetnik, but but it was hilarious. It was just hilarious. It was the perfect name. Yeah, and it was a good old time, I guess, for everybody in private
Good old time.
and for the timeline. So you were clicking through. Mama Shay, any thoughts on Fleetnik? Like, let's keep this going.
So I hadn't heard that they were ending it until kind of like Marcus. I saw people going, "Oh, it's the last. Y'all really going out for fleets?" And I was like, I've never even watched a fleet, like maybe here and there, but I couldn't tell you like a day that I actually watched them. I was clicking through and I tweeted and said, oh, y'all are really letting everything just swing around on the fleets today. And then suddenly I got a whole bunch of followers. And I was like, wait, let me be clear. My things are not fleeting about. Because I was like, wait, y'all are not even people I know. No, go away. I'm not participating. I'm just commenting.
I am enjoying the show.
Yeah. So Focus, like, did you ever watch Fleets prior to that? I mean, because I'm assuming that you saw all the craziness that went down in the Fleets.
Okay, I did see the craziness. I, however, did not see the Fleets, and that was intentional because I probably would see some stuff that I probably don't want to see, and not necessarily in a bad way, because there are some people out there that I kind of wonder, and you want to think, what is going on with them? But I didn't want to set myself up for heartbreak in a sense, so I kind of stepped back from the fleeting thing going on. Plus, I was kind of busy anyway, so it was hard for me to actually keep going back and forth. But before then, I really never looked at the fleets anyway. It was basically I had Instagram stories, and that's what I've been focusing on. And so when I come to Twitter, I just want to scroll through, see how mad people are real quick. Could see who are some of the, I guess, the OG nudists post on my timeline, because there are a couple I follow. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, so wait a minute. So if you follow these OG nudists, why weren't you clicking on any of the Fleets? I'm confused.
Because you already got it on the timeline.
Yeah, basically. And I'm the type of person that temporary stuff, I need reference material sometimes. And at the times I go to look at these things, sometimes I don't need them. But when I actually need something, then, I don't have anything to reference. So, and I'm going to leave it there, actually, because...
I will say, not advocating for this necessarily, but screen recording and screenshots do exist.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm too nice of a person and know all the ins and outs of proprietary stuff. And so I try not to go down that avenue, although it's not illegal, but it's immoral in a sense to me. But
okay,
whoever does.
I'm trying to. Okay, and forgive me if I just seem to be pressing you on this, and maybe Marcus, I see your hand up, so maybe you can help me figure out what the mentality is, because you're saying you need references to see Fleets.
No, what I'm referring to is that in my moments, because this is a PG show, so we're trying to keep it PG. In my moments, there are some times where, and it's not that often, but it's sometimes like if somebody has a profile and they have stuff out there in the media, or I may bookmark some stuff for those type of moments where I need some personal attention, if you will.
Okay.
And
so you're saying just seeing it once doesn't do anything for you?
Right. I like something. Sometimes, especially if it's nice, I like to go back to it and, marvel. Imagine.
Come on, Marvel.
Lord Jesus. Okay. All right. Marcus, you had something to say. Please speak up.
It may take us down a different sort of road, but my thinking was, I've heard people say that. I've heard people say something similar. It was like, if someone puts something up, like you shouldn't screen record, you shouldn't screenshot, what have you, that's whatever that may be. And I'm curious as to why, where the idea came from. Because my understanding is just like, okay, I can understand if you were like selling this person's content, if you were like sharing this out with everybody. But if you're using this for your own personal alone time, I don't necessarily understand the issue.
It kind of circles back around to what is it? I'm trying to think of it. But it circles around that issue where people were putting stuff out there and without people's permission, like for blackmailing or that type of stuff.
Okay.
And so it kind of centers around that. So they created a lot of rules, laws, etc., or they gave the ability, like with Snapchat, they gave the ability when they first came out with Snapchat for people to actually see if you were recording their stuff.
Mhm.
And so that's just to let the user
Well,
know
to
that
be honest,
somebody
that
actually
actually
captured it.
that came later because they knew
Oh,
people
really?
were I mean, because I think that was a later feature where they showed that people were taking video and recording, whatever. I
Okay.
personally, I'm just like, and I don't know if the rules are a little bit different when you're like texting somebody and sending them your nudes versus, just seeing it and screen capping it when you see it on your phone or on a computer or something.
Right. It's kind of like a
I'm
permission
like,
thing.
if you send it to me,
Oh, it's mine. You sent
Oh
right?
it.
yeah,
That's kind
yeah,
of
no doubt,
that's kind of how I think about it.
no doubt. Yeah, I'm just speaking specifically with taking things without permission. So
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I think, the thing is like to not like share that person's intimates.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
right,
Not to put them on blast. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to keep it for your own reasons, then that would be one thing. Nobody has to know, type of thing. But
right.
I don't know. I mean, I guess some people think that it's a little bit creepy as well. And so I'm wondering, is there an ick factor? Is there a creep factor to, screenshotting somebody's news? Like if you went through all of these people's fleets and stuff and you were just screen recording or you were just, screenshotting all of these pictures that people I mean, honestly, there were a lot of people who usually don't post nudes, posting them up in the fleets because it was Fleetnik. And now you got these people who don't ever show that side of themselves in your phone. I guess for some people that might seem a little icky. God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, bless you.
So I'm curious, like
Thank you.
Natasha, what do you, or Mama Shay, I should say, excuse me. But what do you think about that? Is there an ick factor to that?
So I actually had a conversation with a lawyer friend of mine because apparently he had told someone he followed or something like that he had taken a screenshot of something they posted, and they were like, oh my gosh, it's not with my consent. Like that picture for right now is my consent, but you saving it violates blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wow, that's an extreme reaction to me. Because I feel like once you put it on the net, it's out there. The internets have it. You like kind of give up control once you do that because you know that all these capabilities are there. So it's a risk that you are going to take. And I feel like, moving in purpose with whatever you do, even if it's a risky thing for you, you should keep that in mind. I don't personally care, but people who don't have their boundaries set correctly and their expectations set correctly, that can definitely throw a wrench in what they're expecting when someone's like, hey, 2 years ago you posted this, I still have that and use it for my personal time, and now it's a whole big issue.
Yeah. I think you have to be very careful, or you have to know yourself before you start posting stuff up there. And I don't know about y'all. I did not participate in Fleetnik. And that's another question. I'm going to get back to y'all about that in a second. But but that's really only because that's not what I want to portray on social media, I will say. If I was on, a Grinder or Jacked or something, maybe I might send somebody a little something. But not, you know what I'm saying? Not out for the public. I mean, just recently, one of the higher ups at my job followed me on Twitter, and yeah, so I'm not doing that, and I'm not liking that content. Like physically, like pressing like. I might see it, and I might give y'all a thumbs up in spirit, but that's as far as it's gonna go. Did any of you guys participate in Fleetnik?
I did not, and I'm gonna be honest with you, not because I didn't want to. I actually would have if it was about 30 years ago.
Oh.
when things were a little bit more perky and situated where it used to be. But yeah, right now I don't feel comfortable enough doing that. Although, and somebody just kind of pointed this out to me the other day, it's a confidence thing, and I understand that, but you also have to know your limits and know what you're willing to put out there and whatnot. And yeah, old me definitely would have put at least something out there. It may not be what everybody wanted to see, but hey, it would have been out there because I
Okay.
have before. I just stopped. So
And okay, so what is the mindset behind that? If you do put that out there like that, like what's the like it like say like let's say you were 30 years younger and you wanted to put that up there. Why would you? Because you just like the attention or what is it?
it's more so you're just comfortable enough with yourself to share yourself with the world like that. I mean, there are plenty of people out there that that share themselves like that, and I applaud them for it. It doesn't necessarily make them attractive for me as far as like I'm going to chase after them or anything, but also I have to take into consideration that I'm a visual arts type person, so I'm used to stuff like that anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
you can admire, but admire from a distance, if you will. And as long as it's
Okay.
kept like that, but I think it's fine. But yeah, it's a rabbit hole you can go down with that too on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the chat. Ty McKinney said he had a great time participating in Fleetnik.
Oh, really?
I don't know if y'all
Dang, I
saw
should
me
have
put that
peeped
on the
after
screen
all.
before, but yeah. I honestly, I don't think I came across Ty's fleets that night. But it was just so funny because when I posted a fleet that day, and it was just like I got like 190 something views. And I'm like, I never had this many people looking through my fleets. And I was just like, and I think I tweeted, I was like, y'all a bunch of freaks.
Yes, the people want to
I
see
mean, just a
Oh,
joke, but like,
they thought they were going to see a pen peach. That's what that was.
the people wanted to see, and that's how that I saw a lot of people saying that because some people took advantage of it. They
Oh
like
yeah,
posting the tweets. Yeah, y'all thought y'all was gonna see something, didn't it?
yeah.
Some of those people I blocked.
Almost. That was almost me. I was like, let me put an elbow in this fleet.
I consider
Oh
putting words in
God.
there. So
Were y'all surprised at anybody that you saw up there?
I was actually surprised a lot more people participated than they did, and that kind of ties into something else too, because from what I understand, a lot of critics of things like that actually participated, from what I understand, and so that actually caught me off guard, and I wish I kind of would have looked at the fleets at that point because that would have been interesting to see. But I heard everybody had a gay old time, so
Look, and I think it spanned. I don't know where it started. I don't know where if it started in gay Twitter, I'm assuming, but I don't know if it started in like straight Twitter and like carried over or like where it kind of started. But like you said, like you saw some people up there who kind of previously were kind of against that kind of thing. That brings up a little bit of like contradiction, and it's like, okay, so now you just want to be in with the crowd, but previously, you're here preaching left and right about not putting your stuff out there. That's interesting. But Marcus, you said you were surprised at someone.
Yeah, I was surprised by some of the things that I saw. I was like, oh, well, that's good to know. Because
that was there.
right. Because there's so many people who you just see their words, like you hardly ever, because people don't post pictures of themselves on Twitter for real. So going through, it's like, where are you again? Like that was some of my reaction to some of those things. For the most part, it was people who I more or less expected. Some people who I had, who I'd seen myself. But then there was also a couple of surprises that made it all worthwhile.
Okay, all right. Ty is saying he felt comfortable sharing that side of himself. I never used to be that confident in my body, so I felt liberated.
Yeah.
So very good. Good for you, Ty.
Yeah. Ty and I had a Twitter conversation about that the other day, and yeah, he was we were talking about that, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, make sure. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it, I guess. So. But,
Unfortunately, okay, we hear
dang
that.
it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. Yeah, Ty and
Oh
I
my
cut up
goodness.
online all the time, so.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good to have those connections. Let me just say that. So what are let me see. I was trying to see one of my questions. So why have you not used Twitter stories before? Like why I mean, like, I'm just curious why it took now for it to happen, for something like this to blow up. I mean, I know people were posting their stuff. Some people who were, more comfortable or had an OnlyFans or something were posting their stuff up there anyway. But I'm curious why it took now. I mean, you could make the argument that because it's going away, but they all go. That's the point of the stories, is that they go away after 24 hours. The whole platform does not need to go away. So why did it take now for people to actually start using it and for it to become a thing? And then why don't people then transition over to like a Snapchat or Instagram close friends or something like that?
That's actually why. I know, at least for me, it was like, why does Twitter need the stories? Like, I have all these other platforms that can do the exact same thing. I don't necessarily need this on Twitter. So I can speak for me. For me, it was just like, this is redundant. I don't need this. But the novelty of the fact of it going away was like, okay, well, it's gonna be gone anyway. Might as well get some use out of it.
Right. Okay. I hear that. Are y'all in agreement there? I mean, Mama Shay?
I think some people were just like, they didn't want to be left out. So before, not being left out was just watching them and maybe DMing off of it or commenting or something like that. But then it's like, no, this is like, they felt like they were going to lose something, even though there are all those other platforms. Because I'm not sure about you guys, but who I follow on Twitter, who I follow on Instagram, who I follow on Snapchat, and who I guess I follow on Facebook. I don't use it like that, so I don't even know. But those are very, very different audiences. So for some of that, especially if you're not trying to monetize or make an OnlyFans, you're not really trying to pull your Twitter people over to Snapchat or over to Instagram. Like Twitter stays on Twitter, Instagram stays on Instagram, kind of like back in the day when it was like, what is Tumblr? Didn't matter if you had one.
Yeah.
Said, do you have a Tumblr? It was, what is Tumblr? Or it was the oh, I like your shoelaces.
Those were the days.
What does that mean? Because Marcus just fell out, and I feel like that flew right over my head.
That told me he was very much a Tumblr person. His fallout.
Woo!
Can you explain that?
I need something stronger.
That was the offline way of asking if you had a Tumblr, because Tumblr did not exist. Whether you had one or not, there was no Tumblr. What is a Tumblr?
Really?
But if
like
I walk
Fight Club,
up to you
don't
and
talk about the Fight Club.
Yes. But if I walk up to you and say, "Oh, I like your shoelaces," it's something about the president was like the correct answer. Like, "Oh, I got them from the president" or something. And that's how you knew, like, okay, we are brethren of the Tumblr hood.
Really? I did not know that.
I had heard people like, because I'm pretty sure by the time I got to Tumblr, like it wasn't like a thing, but it was well on its way. And I had heard, like, I remember seeing people saying stuff like, oh, remember the old days or what have you. So I didn't know the full extent of the thing, but I did know that it started off with like that question.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I had like a whole secret society. What were you saying?
Yeah. I mean, no, because Tumblr was it. It was everything. Tumblr was OnlyFans.
Yes, my Tumblr was person of my life is from Tumblr. We met on Tumblr. So
who was that? Who?
The one you don't like.
Oh, okay.
Like I have 10-year plus friendships that started on Tumblr.
Got you. Okay. It seems like one of those places where you make real friendships and real connections versus trying so hard to stand out and be the superstar. I don't know, but I feel like that's a good way to transition a little bit into talking about this question of, some people will get online. I know I've had this question before. It's just like, why don't I get any attention on social media? Why don't I get any more followers on social media? I'm out here. I know I'm cute. I'm trying to, I put my face out there. I'm trying, I'm trying to talk and be social a little bit, but some people have that question. It doesn't seem to work. They don't seem to be making the connections that they want to make, whether it's friendships or whether it's getting attention from other guys and getting the DMs. A lot of these people talk about, what you do in the DMs and all this DM stuff. And some people are just like, well, my DMs are dry. And it's like, well, how the heck, where does this happen? This seems like a fairy tale existence where people are just flooding your DMs. So I'm curious, where do you think the problem lies with somebody like that? Why don't we start with Darian? I know you're not the social media person, but I'm just curious what your thoughts are on that.
I would say, as far because mine's almost kind of intentional, if you will. I don't post a lot of, like, I have, going back to what Mama Shay said earlier, I have certain accounts for certain things, and so Twitter is more like a sounding board, if anything. Instagram, I usually post my pictures there, and then Facebook, I stay connected with my family when I want to talk to them, and I haven't been on Facebook in a while, so that explains that one. But as far as getting followers and connecting with people, it's not necessarily been a big thing, because I've discovered that what gets you followers is if you've been on there, say like the pre-Twitter days, like a lot of the people that connected on Twitter actually have been on there since like the Yahoo days. So a lot of that came from the early Twitter days when they connected. The second thing is, I believe skin is for the win. And so
you mean like thirst traps?
Basically, if you are on there showing skin, people tend to be drawn toward that and will follow you. I mean, this is strictly my opinion, and based on what I've observed personally. And then finally, I think one of the other factors is that if you are just this outrageous, confident, bold, outspoken person and say a lot of sometimes off the wall things, I think that attracts people to you as well. More so from the conflict side in that arena than it does from anything else. But your responses, depending on, and especially if you are messy, that actually will get you a lot of attention as well. So those are the three things I think played a big factor into the amount of connections a person has, especially if they have a lot more followers than they do than people they follow.
Yeah. I'm curious what you guys think about that. I feel like what you're saying is that it's almost like, like the shade room effect. Like, you just kind of put something crazy out there and then people start talking about it or talking about you and quote tweeting it. And like, we've seen it sometimes where people will just like, okay, you're really just trolling just to get some attention right now. But they're still getting it and it's still working. And it's like, annoying as hell. It's like, I can't just be a normal person on social media. At least to some people, that's how it feels. You can't just be a normal person on social media and get any kind of traction or any kind of attention from this that the people say that you should be able to get. I'm curious where you stand on this, Marcus.
It's a bit difficult for me to kind of figure out where I stand, because a lot of times I don't be like really concerned about the follow count or what have you. I have, whatever, I don't even know, whatever number I have of followers, and that's cool. Most of the people who have followed me is usually because I've like tweeted something, because I do a lot of live tweeting. I do a lot of, like just like posts like threads and things of that sort. So a lot of people who I follow end up coming from that. And that just be me just doing whatever, what have you.
Mhm.
I think that if your goal is to have a whole lot of followers, then you kind of do have to do those sort of like quote unquote outlandish things. Because you have to think about it just, I mean, even outside of social media life. Like people are celebrities, people are famous because they do stuff that's above and beyond. Like the reason why the reason why the world knows, I don't know, Rihanna and not the pretty girl that lives 2 doors down from you is because she did all these extra above and beyond things to get people to pay attention to her.
Mhm.
Like, and if you want Rihanna level success, that's kind of what you got to do. And if you're not willing to do that, then you kind of don't want them levels. I mean, to me, that's kind of what it boils down to.
Yeah, yeah. You kind of feel like it's kind of just that simple. I'm curious, why do you not worry about your follower count?
Which I honestly should, because of like the outside of the extra things that I do, from writing and things of that sort. But it's just never really been my bag to just be, really concerned about, oh my God, like, is this going to go viral? Is this going to do this? Is this going to do that? Because I don't care that much about people. I don't care that much.
That part.
But I also recognize that because of things like, like wanting to get my series out there and, stuff like that, that if I want to up that follow count, I cannot do it. I have literally got to go find somebody who social media is their bag to do it for me because I just don't have that type of investment.
Right, right. Mama Shay, what do you think about what we're talking about so far?
Jarrod has a very intimate knowledge of me since we've known each other for years and are friends, but I couldn't tell you who followed me, who unfollowed me. Well, actually, I can tell you who followed me because I go to look at their profile before I follow back. I'm not a follow for follower type of person. And also, if I see stuff that's controversial, that's just not going to jam with me, I'm probably going to do that soft block so you're not following me anymore either.
Okay, so explain what a soft block is, please.
So you can, if someone follows you, you can block them and then unblock them, and it stops them from following you. They'd have to physically come back and follow you again.
And that's on Twitter specifically, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works on any of the other ones, but I know with Twitter, I definitely do that. I have a personal problem with people thinking I am younger than I am. And so I have these young men in their late 20s. And I'm like, you are closer to my baby's age. I could have basically had you. You got to go. This is not a thing. I had a 26-year-old try to fight with me. He's like, I like older women. 2 years is nothing. And I was like, but 14 is something. Please go away.
Right.
So, and then I was lying about stuff. Like he got real in his audacity about it. And so I watch who I let follow me, because then if I do and I don't do a whole bunch of anything as far as pictures go. It's usually like, oh, I actually felt cute today. Here, have my face. So like the people following me and stuff, I don't care. Most of them, I have their phone numbers so I could text them if I felt like it.
But I feel like, Natasha, knowing you get a lot more interactions as far as potential dates. So
a lot more than I would like, yes.
Now, what do you attribute that to? Do you attribute that to being a woman online? Because I hear that that's a thing. I mean, just women in general just always get bombarded with like crazy men just like DMing them whatever nonsense.
So I don't think bombarded it is a good one, because it's like once or twice a month, and it's usually like right after I've posted a picture.
But see, that's like a lot more than what I get, and I'm like,
well,
I should be getting like once or twice a month. Like, come on.
I agree, but I don't personally even attribute that to me. It's when my friends on the Twitter who are much more social, I'm like adjacent to a lot of people. So as soon as I post a picture, they're like, oh my gosh, look, it's actually a picture. She showed her face. And they wind up retweeting it. And then it's like a follower of a follower type of thing that comes.
Okay.
I had one girl who had an OnlyFans for like a month. She was trying to make 3K. She got it and left. But from that, she of course made a whole lot of Twitter friends. So anytime she would repost my picture, I always told her, I was like, I'm blaming you. It's the crazies. But they definitely found their way into my DMs and to the block section. So,
it's just so funny. Like you said you don't pay attention to who's following or who's following, but you're not paying attention to who's unfollowing. I know who's unfollowing me. Okay. Well, at least I try to find out, because I could always go to like, what'd you say?
Not having that little tracker, because those old school trackers that people have not taken off their accounts. I will unfollow you.
Oh yeah. No,
I don't want to see that. They followed this many people. This many people unfollowed. Be like, and add one. Because
I can't. I will really I'm there's always a 50-50 chance if I see an auto tweet, there's a 50-50 chance of me unfollowing you. Because I need to see some recent tweets within that auto tweet if you're going to do that, because I don't want to see today Aquarius in, Libra moon is doing so-and-so and you're doing well today, boo-boo. Go do you. I'm just like, I just want to know, just get out of here with that. And it usually happens at like early in the morning, like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
That should be sent to email. Your timeline doesn't need to know your horoscope. For what?
That's a sign of somebody that's a sign of somebody who has been on Twitter for a long time, because that was a thing back when Twitter was a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Twitter could still be over capacity.
Yes, back when you saw what was it? The
it was whale. Like a whale.
I forget what they called it, but yeah, it was
the
hilarious.
fail whale.
The fail whale. Yeah. There you go.
Twitter jail, all that stuff. I remember that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the little whale with the little Twitter birds carrying it across the water.
Born in Sapphire is saying, infamous people will be remembered far longer, such as Gorilla Glue Girl. We will always remember that hashtag, even if they don't remember her real name, Tessica Brown. So there is definitely, a point to be made for people who are just outrageous. Not to say she was outrageous, because I think in her instance, she made a mistake and it just kind of became viral, but it was an outrageous kind of circumstance. And if you can capture a lot of attention like that let's imagine she all of a sudden she just did it again, then she would be Gorilla Glue Girl 2, like part 2, the sequel. What were you gonna say, Darian?
I said I would have questions if she did that again. Serious questions.
I would not have questions. I would have judgment, but but I would know. I'd be like, okay, well, I know what you're trying to do here at this point. She said, "Hey guys, I glued my hair." If she wanted to do that, I know that it was all a play for popularity or for attention. So I think when people ask that question, like, why don't I get any followers? You kind of have to wonder what you're doing to kind of grab that attention. Now, that doesn't mean that, I don't think that means that you have to be posting thirst traps or you have to be posting crazy. I think that those things are the easiest ways of grabbing attention online. But what do you think is the good way to kind of get somebody else's attention, to kind of get people to interact with you and to talk with you online and to maybe even DM you, whether it's friends or whether it's, in a flirtatious kind of sense, that's not as crazy as what we've been talking about? Mama Shay.
So I guess this kind of leads into what I was going to say too. A lot of times it's who you talk to. And so like if it's somebody who you kind of know is just on there, they might be popular, but they're really not trying to sell a brand or something. They're just popular. A lot of times you'll get stuff from, again, just being adjacent to that. But with that, it's like, okay, so just talk to them. Don't try to market yourself to them. look at what they're talking about. If they're always talking about basketball, don't go up in their face talking about unicorns. Like, they don't care. Get away from me. You know, but if it's like, oh, I'm going to this game, who do you think I should root for? Let's, you know, talk about this. Give me some stats, whatever. A lot of times they'll talk to you about whatever they're interested in. So it's really like being at, you know, anywhere else in public. If you're at a Black Lives Matter march, you don't come up being like, hey, did you see the McDonald's cup? They had somebody, or the McDonald's commercial. Well, actually you could. Did you see the commercial? They had somebody singing about it and talk about the tie-ins there. But it's like, you know, you want to be relatable and don't just go after those people, because I'm sure just like I can, most of you can tell when somebody's coming to you disingenuously.
Right.
So, you know, it's like find the people that you vibe with that are on your same vibe and then go in that direction, and your name kind of gets spread around. It was like that for me in the spiritual circles. You know, we've talked about that side and what I kind of do over there, but we don't, like, I'm not in the major spiritual circles, but my name is known in them regardless.
Okay, that's a very powerful statement. Your name is known, but I just, you know, I dabble a little bit, but they know who I am, you know?
My name is interspaces. My feet have not. Come on.
All right, man. I love it. I love it.
I mean, you know, you let your name make a name for you.
Okay, I hear that. So you're talking about, are you talking about commenting on people's posts, or are you talking more about like DMing people, or are you talking about, I mean, just clarify it a little bit. Because
Right,
I'm all over the place.
If I had extra, you know, people that I was kind of just adjacent to, but actually wanted to get to know, I'm going to wait and like, well, actually at that point, if I've been following you for a minute, I should know what your interests are at least, you know, because I've been looking, waiting for an in or what have you. So it would just be like the next time they post about something that I know they're about to be passionate about, I might try and connect over there to add something to it.
Gotcha.
Not to necessarily retweet it with something that throws them off their point or anything like that.
Gotcha.
For the DMs, I mean, if I feel like DMing you, I'm gonna DM you. If you don't answer, you don't. I don't really have.
Okay. Now that brings up another thing. It's just like, you know, do you appreciate a cold DM from some random person who you've never interacted from? Or do you prefer somebody that has commented on your stuff, or that you had some kind of an interaction with on the timeline or on the feed on Instagram, and then the DM comes? Like, and I'm asking anybody here. What did you say?
I don't care about like if you're following me or whatever. I'm gonna look at your timeline before I respond, and I'm gonna look at how you came at me. And some of it is weird. There was somebody who didn't follow anybody I followed. They hadn't tweeted in 6 months, but I got this random DM that was like, oh my gosh, you're literally like a Disney princess. And I was like, who the hell are you? So like that did not get a response. I have had people adjacent, so followers of followers. And one chick hit me up out of nowhere and was like, are you participating in Teddy Tuesday? And I was just like, what? I was like, what gave you the impression that you, a stranger, can walk into my
Let me know next time that invitation comes through.
I'm weak.
Every
Until
Tuesday.
I can start doing push-ups again.
And it's like the only thing I've ever mentioned about it is my Tuesday greeting is usually like it's Armpit Revenge Day, put Monday's troubles in a headlock, and celebrate with titties and tacos. So, but like I have never been like, oh, let me post my boobs for this, clothes, unquote. Like I've never had that interaction. So I was just like, who are you? Why?
Right. So that was obvious. Somebody was just trying to see what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't even know where I fall on the heterosexual queer spectrum. So you were just, I was like, I mean, I can't knock you. You shot your shot. You missed by a mile. Like, I'm proud of you for trying.
So I'm like, right. So, you know, Focus, I know you said you may have some questions here. So if you have any, you know, raise your, like, I don't know, let me know. I'm going to ask Marcus a quick question though. Because I have a feeling. Well, no, I think we've talked a few times, and we know that you do reach out to people. You do DM people, and what is the thing that kind of attracts you, or what is the thing that makes that happen for you to say, oh, let me reach out to this person and see what's good?
So there are two answers to that, and it depends on what way you're talking about me DMing people.
I mean, okay, so let me clarify. So we're talking about, we're talking specifically, I guess we're talking specifically either about friendships or romantic kind of thing.
Those are the two different ways. So you have
Okay, so then let's just go. Let's just run through both of them. Why not? Let's start with friendship, and then I'm assuming we could possibly take it up a notch with romantic. I mean, I know who Marcus is, so I know.
I mean, as far as I think Mama Shay mentioned it. I mean, kind of really kind of led into sort of like the friendship thing. Like even in real life, I ain't got no problem talking to nobody. So if I see you on the timeline and you're talking about something that I'm interested in, I may jump in like, hey, blase, 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 let's talk. And every so often that will turn to like an extended conversation, because nobody wants to have really extended conversations on the main timeline. So if we are talking about something that's an interest for both of us, and we kind of like hit it off, that may become something like, oh, we move to DMs, may turn into like exchange phone numbers, which I can say on at least one recent occasion has turned to, hey, we're cool, let's link up, let's meet each other in real life, and go from there. So the friendship thing, it really just kind of starts with a mutual interest, whatever thing that they may be tweeting about, or vice versa, something I may be tweeting about that someone finds interest in too, and we start talking about that. The quote unquote romance is purely motivated by lust. Let's just
Okay.
go be honest. purely motivated by lust. Like, I think I've probably made it clear in several of the past episodes that at this point in time, if I'm doing like, ain't no long-term dating happening right now. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So if I'm going for the DMs from that perspective, it's motivated usually by something you have posted, something you have said, or just like, hey, shoot my shot, see what happens.
Okay.
The worst thing you can do is tell me no.
Got you.
Yeah. And that's kind of, I mean, that's I guess that's kind of also like how I approach like a lot of sort of situations. Like the worst thing you can do is tell me no. If you tell me no, I'm gonna keep on moving. Like it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that that's a testament to your confidence, to your level of confidence, and and that's another thing. I mean, I think maybe for another day we can talk about, because I think Darian, you talked about if you were to post like your nudes or something, that would just come from a place of confidence and just kind of loving your body, and it is what it is. You don't really care what anybody else has to say.
Right.
Or you don't really care about being rejected or something once you reach out to somebody. And I think that's a really strong place to come from.
Because I know I look good. So
there you go. Exactly.
And that's how you get people in your DMs to come sit on your face.
It
Wow.
is. Can attest.
So wait, what have you so it's just is it just a picture or something that you've posted that have gotten you those kinds of DMs?
Who, Marcus or me?
I'm just trying to figure out, because you both said that you have experience in that lane.
Whoa, wait a minute now, because that may be Marcus, but that's not me. That's not my answer. It's a thought, but again, I'm slightly older than the Twitter population, and so unless you are just really that bold, and I know some people in my age group that are that bold. Why, I don't know, to a certain degree, because some of them need to pull back a little bit. It's a little too strong. But again, yeah, I mean, and it's a confidence thing. If that's your thing, yeah. But some people like turn that up a little bit too much, and I'm like, you have to just kind of pull back a little bit. So,
Got
but
you.
as far as me, posting the picture. I don't have people coming in my DMs like that. It's a few, but as far as it doesn't go any further than us talking in the DMs.
Yeah, but I feel like you're not really putting that energy out there, and I think that that's kind of the message of this whole conversation is that you kind of have to put yourself out there in a way that people are gravitating to you in that way.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like I do on some level. I'm not posting thirst traps necessarily, but I am posting myself. I am posting pictures of myself. I'm not afraid of posting pictures of myself out there. Now, I'm probably not super super opinionated on Twitter because I know how people like to nitpick and like take stuff and it becomes a whole thing with like 50 different threads going every which way, and that's not what you meant. And that's why I do this show, because I like to contain the conversation. But I feel like, I do put myself out there enough to, want to attract a few people. Now, I'll get one or two people once in a blue moon, but it's not on the same level as
Mama Shay is telling you no.
What are you saying? What you got to say, Mama Shay?
So, one of my favorite little musicals is Hamilton. And you know how Mr. Burr got kicked off because he walked the middle of the road?
Oh, I haven't seen it. That's probably...
So, historically, Burr did not land on one way or the other. He would talk to the masses very massively. There was no, he would not side with one way or the other in efforts to appeal to both sides.
He rode the fence, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sure his butt had splinters. So, with that being said, the way that I see your account is this, like, I would expect you to have a separate hidden account.
Okay.
The way yours currently runs. So, and that's because I know you personally. So, like, even with the fence writing possible tweets, I'm like, that was said with a smirk, or nah, he meant that. But people who don't know you intimately and closer, they don't know that. So sometimes it doesn't even have to be super controversial, but just knowing where you squarely land,
gotcha.
Can get you some of that interaction. Because even with bad interaction, people know these people. Like the dude who flew to California was like, on the side of bed. I know y'all have all seen that meme. Mr. Pizza Man. Yeah.
I forget that one.
What many new names he has, how he rebrands himself. He gets out of character and somebody said, wasn't that you on the end of the bed? It is.
No.
People know who that man is. So it's not always even like I'm sure he's gotten dates and things since then for people who are like, nah, baby, you're good. They shouldn't have fat shamed you, or they shouldn't have, said whatever. He's not a household name, but in Black Twitter, people know at least that meme. So,
you're gonna have to show me. You have to DM me that meme, because I'm sure I know it, but it's just escaping me right now. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry. I'm
sure there is somebody in Tessica Brown's DMs right at this very moment. I'm sure somebody hopped up on there like that's what it is. Like it gets you out there.
And that definitely wasn't his making. It wasn't his intention. I'm sure none of that. It was just, it happened to work. And now that meme is in so many situations that have nothing to do with him years later.
Yeah. So, it seems like you may have to, I don't know, I guess almost brand yourself a little bit. I guess that's kind of what social media is kind of branding yourself a certain way so that people know you for something. And I know me, I'm probably still going to be a fence writer as far as social media is concerned, because that I just don't want to invite the drama. I don't want to invite the because I used to be a lot more opinionated on Twitter, and I just don't like fighting with people online. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, I just if I'm not getting professionally shot by anybody, like a photo shoot, I'm not putting up, thirst traps. Not no crazy. I mean, like, I'll put up like a thirst trap once every, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. I'll put up like a little thirst trap. But
those Atlantic City shoots, I've been seeing them. I'm like, yes, bestie.
I mean, but I have my clothes on. You know what I'm saying? I'll put up like a style or like a fashion shot. But
there was a towel picture. I distinctly remember.
Well, wait, that was like, well, yeah, that's like my one every 6 months.
Common
Where do I be
misconception.
when all this stuff happens? I've never seen not you specifically, but like when all this stuff goes on, I'm like, where am I? Why?
What I have to say?
What were you saying, Marcus? I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say common misconception. You can thirst trap with clothes on.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
I've seen some things that thirst after with clothes on. So
like, oh.
Yeah, I wasn't even trying to thirst trap. I was trying to show the length of my locks in one particular picture, and I just happened to have like, I think it wasn't a house dress, but it's just definitely one of my comfy, cozy maxi dresses on. And so to show it, I literally had to go to at least my knees for people to see how long my hair is at this point. I've gotten so many pictures like, move the locks. I want to see the booty hump. And it's like, what? That was about my hair. This had nothing to do with my butt. It wasn't, we just weren't in that space at that point. But people will see that. It's been retweeted here and there for people showing like, I want my locks this long. And then their followers, and they got it from one of their, like, it's way back. And I was like, no, it was not for y'all. It was literally for that conversation.
wow.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you're putting yourself out there, and even unintentionally, you've been receiving some kind of feedback or some kind of you've been getting some attention. And I think for the people that have that question of why am I not getting attention or why am I not getting followers on social media, I mean, I think what we're seeing is that you kind of have to have a clear opinion. You have to put your voice out there and you have to make it known. Whether that is, you can categorize that as branding yourself. I feel like that may be a little too business related. I mean, I use the words brand yourself, but I think it's really just making your opinion known and really just standing firm in who you are. And also, show off a little skin once in a while, or show off a little sexiness once in a while. I think that is another way, and be able to show your face, even if you don't want to be like super sexy or anything like that. Show a cute picture once in a while. If you need some help with that, hire somebody. And if you can't hire anybody, then stick to Twitter and just post your opinions in word form,
Or download Snapchat, because they have some cute filters that will hook your face up.
So that brings up a question that I will bring up in splitting the bill with the filters, because I have an opinion about that. But yes, you kind of have to
joke.
But yeah, I mean, you have to put yourself out there. You don't have to be super over the top, but I feel like having a strong opinion, having a strong presence, and I also think being consistent online and not just, because I know in my case, what I've gotten up to 2010 followers, and in the past month or something, I'm back down to like 1993 because I just haven't been posting that much on Twitter. But back when I actually cared, it was up. So it's just like there's a clear correlation to being consistent and being present online. So those are some of the tips that I would leave with our audience if you have been having issues with connecting with people or getting the DMs or anything like that. But also, and I would say that I'm kind of in this boat, if Twitter is not the place for you, then that's cool too. Like maybe Twitter is not where you're going to meet the one, or where you're going to make a whole lot of friends, or like even Instagram or Facebook or wherever, because it requires all of these things that I had listed before. And if you're not willing to do the thirst traps, if you're not willing to put your firm opinion out there for the masses to eat up and eat you alive, I get that. Then, find some place where you can kind of flourish and be yourself. And so that's what I would leave you guys with. And focus. Yes.
Yeah, just one quick note on Instagram. You have to be careful with Instagram because their algorithm is mucked up right now. Because even though you post stuff out there, there are certain there are certain activities that they're trying to push you to in order to help them, basically. And that's a whole list of things. If you look it up online, you can find out what actually drives the Instagram algorithm. So just be mindful of that as well.
Absolutely. And you can drive yourself crazy looking that stuff up too. So I would be careful of that because I know that I've kind of gone crazy. And that's why I kind of had to back away because there are endless videos on YouTube about how to be popular on social media. But I think really it kind of dials down to, there's just those simple things of just like being consistent, putting yourself out there. And then once you're doing all those things, you can kind of reach into what Darian is saying and maybe tweak a few things so that you're doing what the algorithm wants you to do. But that's if you want to get that deep with it. But we have gone well over an hour at this point, and we are going to jump over into splitting the bill. I want to thank you guys for joining me, Mama Shay, Darian, Marcus. Thank you guys for chatting with us. We've had a great conversation today, and it was a different kind of show. And I would like you guys, to let me know in the comments what you felt and what you thought about this format. And tweet me or Marcus at Jarrod D King, at Loose as a Deuce. Please add Mama Shay. And Mama Shay, let them know where they can find you online, please.
My Twitter is at Love Eternal, LOVE_ETERNAL.
Okay, and I will leave your link in the description below. Darian, please let us know where we can find you online.
Don't. He's like, don't.
No,
I knew you
it's everything's under. For some odd reason, I was locked up. Everything's under focused on Twitter. On Instagram, it's actually focused one because somebody beat me to the focused on there.
Okay, and that's with a K. F-O-K-I-S.
And that's with a K. Yes.
F-O-K-I-S-E-D. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, follow us online and we will be happy to chat with you. We want to hear your opinions and we want to continue the conversation. Just don't eat us up on Twitter because it hurts me. Or at least me. The other ones might be up for the fight. I don't know. But let's raise a glass, everyone. Okay, we got them up. And till next time, be careful what you say because the boys will brunch. Take care.